Welcome to this Nexi talk about digital money, the now and the new. In the panel with me, I have you, Alessandro Agnoletti, who is head of digital currency and distributed ledger technology. We're going to discuss the key role of digital payments, of the transformation enabled by digital assets, all in favor of inclusion, easy and safe adoption, and the development of sustainable business models. So let me start by asking you, Alessandro, what do we really mean by the digital money? Is it really a new phenomenon, or how do you see it?
Hello, Peter. Hello, everyone. Digital money is a currency or comparable asset that is managed, exchanged, and stored on digital information systems, such as the internet. It's already clear from this definition that digital money is not a new phenomenon, as an evolution of something that already exists. And it's important to notice that since electronic payments have been around thanks to commercial banks that issue, that guarantee value and govern this digital money, that's the public, the merchants, everyone is able to use this money. They have evolved in several forms. One is the central bank digital currency. That is a currency that is expected to be issued by central banks, stable in value, and controlled by central.
Banks like ECB or
In Europe, yes, not geography will be others. More than 90 banks in the world, central banks, are exploring this new phenomenon, and more than 1 out of 4 have already started pilots or have initiatives in place live. Another form of digital money are the cryptocurrency and stable coins. They exist thanks to innovation that without a central governor allow this money to be transferred, to be widespread and so adopted in the markets. Digital and like cryptocurrency are potentially issued by anyone. They are volatile in value because they don't have an underlying asset, and they are controlled by a distributed network. Stablecoin have comparable characteristics, with the difference that they are expected to be less volatile because their value is back to an existing asset, might be a fiat currency or a different asset. So we can see and that is a matter of evolution. So the now is actually also the new.
so many interesting perspectives on this across the globe, I guess. But how will societies be able to manage this very huge change? Because we've been used to coins and paying with paper for thousands of years. So how does this enable with societies?
Let me start saying that it's important to enable, even before the use, enable people to really understand the phenomenon and to perimeter it. How? Through common rules, new rules at national and international level to allow people to be and feel protected, and ultimately from the risk of volatility, liquidity of the counterpart, so they are potentially many, and ultimately to allow this money to be spread and massively adopted. The change is also possible by if we are able to include everyone in the change by age, by availability, by education itself, geography. Otherwise, a spotty phenomenon is not here to stay. The inclusion also might be boosted through education initiatives, for example, by public or private entities, and towards people to allow them to understand. And it's clear that the easier the concepts are and the more they are contextualized in everyday life experience, the greater is the expected benefits. An example is what's behind a payment at a cafe with a fraction of a Bitcoin. Does anyone know? It's important to know and to then act and sometimes react. The change is also possible if we invest in new technologies. One of the technology that today is highly discussed is the DLT, distributed ledger technology, and the blockchain that with the promises of flexibility, interoperability, efficiency might help this industry to evolve. Blockchain to me is interesting also for another reason that in payments it could allow us to reconsider the concept of trust. If you think that historically trust was in the instrument, the raw material, gold or other metals, or cash, then it moved to the intermediaries, the electronic payments. And then thanks to innovation, to blockchain. So we can really see that touches a really intimate dimension of any one of us. Of course, we have also to say that blockchains have some potential issues. For example, the effects on the environment, so the sustainability, because the consumption of energy is high, especially for public blockchain on the proof of work like method. So it has to be perimeter, but many things have to be considered. Finally, to allow change, we need to develop sustainable business models to allow people to use secure, as you were saying before, innovation, but at the same time to allow intermediaries and providers to support the transition.
Exactly, and I also guess that the end users that uses these methods of payment should be enabled by, for example, a PC or a computer or a device that enables them into a grid of a network. So people clinging to coins and paper, cash like that, will probably not take this seriously like we as users of smartphones does. Do you have any idea of how this penetration will fold out in the coming years? Will it take a lot of time, or are we just in the beginning of the time of digital money?
We are in constantly transition phase. You were mentioning technology and the supporting instruments, devices. It opens to many other considerations on availability of people in using it, in owning it, in the infrastructures in rural areas, for example, to allow this technology to really work. The technology I prefer is the innovation I prefer is the one that helps to improve the technologies we already have, because going also back to sustainability, if or anytime we replace the devices, hardware and software has an impact. So when it's needed, of course, it's an opportunity. When might be not done, might be an alternative.
So actually, it's a very good idea to use digital money looking forward in societies like the ones we have in Europe, I guess.
Yes.
So can you please explain to me institutions on the regulatory level, like EU, how should they get involved in digital money going forward?
Yes. I start with your first point about the needs satisfied by the digital money. Of course, they will meet needs that are already satisfied by other solutions we have, and might also boost or support new needs to be met. The more traditional ones already met, but that could be improved, are payments in different geographies or different countries, cross-border, between different entities, and micro payments, for example. And if I think about them, I think also about machine-to-machine payments. That is a growing trend, and that will keep on growing in the next years. I think also on programmable payments, where like a payment is triggered when a fact occurs, maybe controlled by a smart contract I have with my counterpart, might be the shipment of a goods or the setup of a new service. So it's really widespread. About institutions, of course, they are always more involved in this new trend. For example, central banks are looking at several, of course, dimensions. One is linked to the central bank digital currency, and their proactive interest, to me, is to like support the financial inclusion of people, to allow everyone to access financial services, ultimately to contrast poverty, and digital is a means to make it possible, to allow the universal access to payments. We see that there are geographies where it's difficult to distribute cash, or where people don't use cash. So digital might help to boost the adoption. To contrast the illicit use of money, money laundering, terrorist financing, tax evasion, and they look at that also to work on like cost efficiencies, because digital might help on that. And finally, even if it's just some of the reasons why, to compete with private solutions, that's might change the rules of the games. And I'm favorable with new inputs from the markets and new opportunities for everyone. But it's important that the financial system is in a safe position to keep on growing at the benefits of all the people involved.
But back to the EU and this focus, could you elaborate a bit on the electronic euro, for example, and how is this going forward?
Europe is in its investigation phase. We, as Nexi Group, are member of the MAG, that is the Market Advisory Group. Through the alliance ADPA, we participate to tech sessions of the ERPB, that is the Euro Retail Payment Board, and we apply to the calls that European Central Bank has published over the last months to support ease, secure, and sustainable payments in our Eurozone.
So this is quite interesting. And it also, I think, raises the question about how the current status of the future is talking about Nexi Group, because what is Europe's leading paytech's thoughts in regards of digital money? Could you please tell us?
Yeah, as Nexi Group is exploring and is investing a lot in the growing demands of digital payment solutions, following the needs of our clients and the market in general. For example, through new payment methods, and we are starting to accept the cryptocurrency and stablecoin in the way that we are exploring this market opportunity to support our merchants to accept at POS and at e-coms the crypto. Nexi will be operating as tech enabler with partners that will take care of everything that will be linked to the crypto themselves. At POS, we are already active in Austria through a pilot, and potentially in another primary European country by the end of the year, that is not Italy. And in the e-com space, we are now designing the pilots with a selected number of clients that ask us to jump into this new market opportunity.
Very interesting. Looking forward to hear more about the news that you will bring to us later this year. Thank you very much, Alessandro. And if I may sum up our talk here, what you said and what I had from my impression here is that digital money are both the now and the new. And They are here to grow and to evolve in the coming years. Also that the scalability of digital payments must take into account that the inclusion of all stakeholders, that means common, shared rules, business, also environmental sustainability is quite important here. And finally, it's important to leverage new technologies that the end users are able to use to accelerate this transition into some new standards. So thanks again to you, Alessandro Agnoletti. And I can say to you in the audience that the next Nexi talk is scheduled to go live tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And it's about blockchain, like we touched upon now, and the solutions being used in our industry. Hope to see you again soon. Thank you very much.